It's time to take a new approach to finding true fulfillment in your career, health, and state of mind through insightful conversations with those who have found their professional and personal passions while achieving balance. Whether it's entrepreneurs, athletes, or healthcare professionals, we bring you real people, real growth right here on the Boost Podcast. Now, here's your host, Elena Lipson.
Hello, Boost Squad, and welcome to episode 7. Today, I am so pumped about our featured guest, Tiffany Houser. Tiffany, are you ready to join the Boost Squad?
Yes.
Great. So guys, Tiffany is one of my favorite SoulCycle instructors in the Washington, D.C. area. She's also a fellow Wolverine, Go Blue, and she's a health and lifestyle coach who is certified through the Health Coach Institute, and she's in the process of getting her master's there as well. In her coaching business, she helps clients find more time, energy, and clarity to get things done in life. So there's always more time for fun and relaxation. And she specializes in working with busy professionals like you who are looking to get more done in less time, while also building and innovating in their career, business, and family, while taking care of their health and wellness. She does one-on-one and group coaching, corporate coaching and wellness, and she does workshops and speaking engagements too. So Tiffany, I know there's a whole lot more to your story than just that, so please fill in the gaps. Tell us a little bit about your journey and your personal life.
Thank you so much, Elena. Yay. Hi, everyone. Well, yeah, that just listening to that alone, it's just taking time to just also reflect back that, wow, I've done some things in my life. So I started coaching about 7 years ago when I didn't really know what coaching was. I had no idea that it was an actual thing or a job or, something you can do. And it was just something I did because of demand. At the time, I was one of the partners in Green Monkey down in Miami, which is a regional yoga company. And we had a lot of people coming to us who wanted to do a detox or a cleanse. And we wanted to detox. We wanted to cleanse. So there were no practitioners or any expert or anyone to guide this. So guess who raised her hand? So, I'm like a little mover and shaker, and I knew how to put things together. So we put together a 3-day detox where we did the juices, which we provided and put together with whole foods. So we started doing that. We also incorporated meditation, detox yoga, and we set up accountability partners. And it was actually kind of fun. And we knew we were onto something. So then from there, as I started to transition out of Green Monkey, just because I felt that there was something bigger with my wellness calling, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So I started to do it one-on-one, working with individuals that wanted to go through the detox and cleanse program specifically on a 3-day basis. And it started to get really fun for me, learning about all the vitamins and minerals in food and learning about all of our systems and how they work together and learning like how to sleep. That was one of the coolest things I've ever learned, is how to sleep. And that's actually one of the big things I do in my practice currently, is I teach people how to sleep. But moving forward, I've worked in and out of the corporate space. I've been an entrepreneur. This is my 4th go at being an entrepreneur.
Wow, you're officially a serial entrepreneur, I think.
And it's so funny, Elena, because the last time I swore was the last time. I was like, okay, I did it. I'm proud of myself. There were a lot of highs, many more lows, but it really is, we're in a day and age where if you have a passion, if there's something you honestly are good at and you really want to do, you just got to go for it now. You got to go for it. And what's amazing is, as I found SoulCycle, I thought I found it. I thought this was the Mecca, which it actually is. But this community that I'm a part of with SoulCycle has actually opened up my heart and myself to more opportunities. I didn't think, in my 40s that I'd be ready for more professional opportunities. And I just knew that I'm on a platform every week of people who are looking to feel good, they're looking to look good, and they just want to be a part of something. They just want to, whether it's to escape or to meet a new person, And it was just really interesting how, I came full circle back to coaching. And it was because everyone's like, I want to know what you're doing. What are you doing? What are you eating? What are you putting on your skin? Why are you so happy? I get that question all the time. Why are you so happy? What's
You
going on?
are so happy. I take your classes and it's like infectious being there in the room with you.
Oh, thank you. It's just a reflection too, because sometimes, we go through like our days and our weeks, and I just, it's so nice to be reminded that there's joy. Like, it's not like, oh my God, I'm sweating, or oh my God, I'm tired, or I ate a big lunch today. Like, ah. So it was just really beautiful. And I really wanted to know how I could expand on what I'm already doing and complement what I already love doing so much. And that's, I did a little soul searching last year, and it started with meditation. And for all of you out there that are meditators or new to meditation or curious about meditation, I started in group guided meditation. And that's what I'm currently still doing, because meditation for me is not easy. I live in the fast lane. I've lived here in DC, in Miami, New York City. So I've lived in the fast lane for a lot of my life. So what I realized last year was that it's time to slow down, time to slow down. And what meditation gave me was the opportunity to just sit in a room and have someone guide us through the proper channels to just let our mind be. And that's when I started to get clarity as to moving into the coaching world, which is where I am now.
Great. I love that. And I love what you're saying about meditation. Every couple months, I tell myself I'm going to meditate. And I have the same problem I think a lot of people have. Like you were just talking about being in the fast lane. I'm in the fast lane. I can get myself to sit down and do it for 10 minutes, but like I can't seem to make it a habit. So the past 3 days, I've been using the Headspace app, and I'm promising myself this time it is really going to stick, but we'll see. Well, I want to know more about your coaching business. So I'm not sure if our audience really knows, what it is that a coach does. So if you could kind of tell us the 3 things that we need to know about being a health and wellness coach, that would be really helpful for everyone.
Awesome. Sure. So it's really interesting because I thought a coach was something different than what it actually was or is as well. So the main thing that we are as coaches is we are your partner. We are not your leader. We are not your follower. We are your partner. And for the most part, we go where you want to go. And that's what I love so much, is because when people are ready to work with a coach, they're ready. They're ready to move something forward, whether it's their health, their life, their career, their relationship, their money situation, whatever it is, they're ready. Because the second part of what a coach is we hold you accountable for what you want. So first, you come to a coach to be your partner to get what you want. Second, we hold you accountable and we stretch you to get what you want. And then the last component of it is we support you along the way, because we know change is hard. And when you're working with a coach, it's all about change, right? You want something. You want to move up in your job. I have clients who want to quit their job. I have a lot of clients who want to start a business. I have clients who are ready to ask for a divorce. I mean, that one shocked me. Not shocking that people get divorced, but that they were looking to come to a coach to work on that and get to that point. So I describe coaching as part cheerleader, like you got this, yes, you can, and part tough love. Let's go. This is what you said you wanted to do. I am checking in on you. You are checking in with me, and we're doing it together. And if we are working in a group situation or a corporate situation, then we have additional partners that will stretch us and support us along the way. So, a lot of people ask how we differ from nutritionists or doctors or therapists, if you will. And we differ in nutritionists, they give you information. They'll give you information about food. They'll give you a meal plan, diet plan. Doctors, they'll give you the information about your health. And a therapist will guide you from the past into your present situation. So a coach, we take you from where you are right now and we walk forward with you. It's not so much about what happened in the past, because there's the tough love, like buckle up. Whatever happened in the past, buckle up, because we're going forward. And we walk next to you. So as you step forward, we step forward. And we understand that life gets in the way, like things happen. And as you get a setback, we step right back with you. So there's another big difference about what a coach does. We don't offer any advice. So if you're looking for advice, a coach, a masterful coach, will not give you advice unless you actually ask us for advice, and then we may offer up something. But for the most part, we don't offer advice because it doesn't lead to change. It doesn't lead to forward momentum and movement. So it's got to be something you want and you get to, not because we're giving you information and things to do. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And, hearing you describe this, I'm like, where has the coach been all my life? I would love to have this partner that holds me accountable and stretches me and gives me tough love, and also that support that every new entrepreneur or even experienced one needs at those moments when they have doubt, or they're just feeling not good enough, or they just have some new ideas and want to bounce them off and need to be pushed to kind of take that extra step. And I'm wondering, with all of the clients that you see, what are the challenges that are most common among the entrepreneurs and busy professionals that they're seeing and that they're coming to you to have you support them on?
That's a great question, because it shocked me what the number one reason is, and it's confidence. And Elena, this may be shocking to you because it seems like busy professionals and entrepreneurs are confident, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's shocking because we're in the fast lane, baby. Like, we're doing this. And a lot of the work that we get into boils down to confidence. Do I have the confidence to ask what I want? And here's the second part of that. Do I have the confidence and courage to actually get what I want? A lot of people want things, but they're terrified if they get it. Isn't that a wild concept?
Yeah, but it is scary because once you have success, you have more responsibility and more attention.
Exactly. So even with my non-corporate clients, people who want to lose 10 pounds, I always ask them, what happens when you lose 10 pounds? What changes when you lose 10 pounds? What's important about losing those 10 pounds? And most of them can't answer that question because that's not the real issue they're facing. It's something else. And 9 times out of 10, it's some level of confidence. So that's the number one thing. And then the second thing, which is the biggest thing that happens to us almost, I call it every cycle, is we get lost. We get stuck.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know where to go, or we get overwhelmed. There's too many places to go. And we're like, which one? Which way? Should I take this job? Should I have this teammate? If you're working on projects, I was a former tech consultant, so I was a project manager, and I always was like, do I want that person on my team or not? And this just happened to me, Elena, last month, October. I got super stuck, super lost, super confused because I had too much going on. And just so you know, I'm always being coached. I actually have 2 coaches.
That's awesome. I'm jealous.
I, as a coach, and, the coaches, who teach the same methodology as me, we practice what we preach. We are all works in progress, so I've been working with my coach on what happened. Like, how did I just lose steam, lose focus, lose all my momentum that I had built up because I was crushing it in August with my marketing and getting ready for the fall, and all this stuff was happening. And then it happened in September. And I was like, oh my God, that was too much.
Yeah, I've gone through the exact same thing. It's totally cyclical. I have months at a time where I'm just killing it and have more work than I know what to do with. So then I don't have time to be strategic about what comes after that. And then I'm just catching my breath when it ends. And then I'm sitting there like, oh, wait, now what? And so it's trying to get to that point where you don't have such high highs and low lows, that things are steady. And that's a learning process. So having a coach to help you with that, I mean, I would love that. But what do you kind of do to help people get unstuck, I guess?
So that's a great segue. I liked how you said the high highs and the low lows. And I just came out of a coaching conference out in San Diego. And we just defined what we call a resting place. So for overachievers or people who believe they're multitaskers or people who just need to be busy, they're the ones with the high highs and the low lows. I am in this category.
Me too.
Yeah. Fast lane. We are in this category. What happens is we go up to these high highs and the only place we land is in the low lows. So if we can define and actually visualize a resting place that's high above the low low, not as high as the high high. It's exhausting at the high high. It's exhausting. So if you define a resting place right in the middle, or for me, high achieverville, a little bit above the middle, where you just go and you settle right there. And then just like working around that. So my job as a coach is to slow you down. Like for what you just described, I would work with you to slow everything down. And that's hard for busy professionals. And that's hard for entrepreneurs because guess what pops in? Any idea?
The need for an income?
Income, absolutely. But it's more the sense of productivity.
Oh, okay. So talk to me more about that.
Yeah. So people feel I'm the same way. I feel if I'm not doing something, I'm not being productive. And if I'm not being productive, that revenue where you got to the last point. Mm-hmm. So if we back out of it or back into it, however your mind moves, it's that sense of slowing down. And when you actually take the time to slow down is where the clarity comes. And this is interesting because this is a program that I just started teaching. It's called Elevated Energy. So learn how to elevate your energy instead of like bursting it out of its seams and then going and have like being a camel and having to like fill up on it, like by being on the couch or watching 10 episodes in Parks and Rec or whatever, which is literally what I did in October. I was crushing Parks and Rec. Like I was going to play trivia with it. By the way, if anybody out there, if you know of a Parks and Rec trivia, please invite me because we'll win. I am so caught up. But yeah, so it's that sense of productivity. So also defining what productivity and output means to you and then shaping your day or your schedule or your path around that. And then we start to identify high value action items and high value tasks. Because one thing a lot of people forget is you are a human being. You need social aspects in that because as entrepreneurs and busy professionals, we want to go to the networking event. We want to stay a couple of hours extra. We want to read 3 more articles about this new method or this new way of doing things instead of just turning the computer off and making a date with your friends or your partner or just shutting down altogether and just sitting in silence for 10 or 20 minutes and just being like, or going to work out or going to volunteer, whatever your calling is. But there has to be that balance. And that's a huge part of my program, Elevated Energy, which is the balance of your output and your input. You need input and not input in regards to feedback, but you need to fuel the fire. You need to stoke your own fire again, your own inspiration, your own heart, your own energy needs to be fueled again. Because if you're constantly output, doing, going in that fast lane, you're going to fall down to that low.
Yeah, that's super insightful. I have a question for you. It's something that I do, and I want to know if it's the right way to find balance since you are the professional in this space. So for me, I work really hard to find balance, but I actually have to schedule it in. So I have to look at my week ahead and say, I'm going to go to like 2 or 3 SoulCycle classes on these days. I'm going to use these nights to see my friends and do these things so that I have the balance, but it's super scheduled. Is that the right way to approach it? Or is that also not giving me balance because it's all so planned?
Do you feel balanced?
I do most of the time. I mean, everyone gets stressed. I have my periods that are stressed, but that's how I stay balanced is by knowing that I've carved out this time to do the things that I want to do.
And what's important about knowing that you feel balanced and stay balanced?
Is that I have control and that I feel like I'm taking care of myself.
Yeah. And what's important about control and taking care of yourself?
Well, I'm a total control freak. So if I don't have control, then things feel out of whack for me. But I really believe I can't be my best self unless I've gotten enough sleep, unless I'm eating right, unless I'm working out. And working out just makes me feel so good. And I don't feel good if I've been, working 10 hours a day for 4 days in a row and haven't worked out, or even just worked 10 hours a day for 4 days in a row. Sometimes that doesn't feel so good either.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is it to you to feel good and to feel balanced? Where 1 is out of whack, 50 million balls in the air, and 10 is like, kumbaya, I got this.
I'd say it's a 10. Like, balance is so important to me. I mean, that's kind of what drove me to launch Boost, because I'm like in the fast lane like you, but having balance is so important to me. So it's like, how do you figure out how to do that? And that's why I have people like you on the show to help everyone find that in themselves.
Amazing. To answer your question, that was a mini coaching session, by the way.
I know. It felt very personal in front of everyone, in front of the whole Boost squad.
Oh, I love it. So yeah, it's basically, there is no blanket answer, because what you feel and what is important to you about balance is different for me. It's different from, the people who are listening in. So there is no one way when working with a coach, or, and again, we don't give advice. I never once told you what to do or how to do it, because Elena, you know what to do. You know how to do it, right?
Yep.
Woo.
That's great. I like that answer. I want to go back real quick to 2 things you said. So 1, you talked about productivity. And one thing I noticed with a lot of people from when they transition from their jobs where they're working for corporations or for somebody else and they go out on their own, it's a weird transition for them to feel that they aren't putting in the full 8 hours or more per day. And I talk to a lot of new entrepreneurs that then feel like that means they're not being productive. And so I think that, this is just a comment. I thought it was super interesting what you were saying about productivity, because I think I'm at the point now where I don't feel that I have to work these set hours of 9 to 5. Like, I may work a couple hours in the morning and super late at night for 5 or 6 hours, but that doesn't mean I'm working any less or doing a crappier job than someone that's doing more traditional hours. And so your point about productivity was interesting to me, because I think that a lot of people judge themselves by the time they put in and how stressed they feel because they're working so hard. And that's really not a measure of your value. So I like that you pointed that out.
I love how you just articulated that. I love that, Elena. I love that so much.
Oh, thanks. The last thing, and maybe we can end on this, you talked about people coming to you with their number 1 challenge being confidence. So what would be a motivational tip, even though I know you don't give advice as a coach, but I know you have tons of great tips as you sit in SoulCycle and inspire all of us every day. What is the motivational tip you would give people who feel like they need a confidence boost?
Ooh, a confidence boost. The biggest tip I guess I could give, I think it's just really looking yourself in the face. And I have clients do this in the mirror and just saying whatever it is you need to hear. For most of my clients, it's I love you. For other clients is I'm good enough. I deserve this. I will get this. And just saying that in the mirror over and over again until you believe it. Because I'll tell you what, a lot of people, they'll say it a few times and be like, oh yeah, I believe it, because it's uncomfortable. It's different. It's awkward. It's outside of the comfort zone. But if you really are honestly searching for confidence, you have to take off your mask. You have to stop hiding and just be prepared to be exposed. That's where confidence lives, in exposing to the world who you are. I have this business. I have this idea. And I just want to take it one step further, because I am working with a couple of clients who are in this space right now, is they feel that if their business fails, they're going to fail. And that could not be further from the truth, because your business is not who you are. It is a business. It is something. It is not who you are. So what I'm taking these people through is detaching the business from their identity. Has nothing to do with who you are. You are awesome. You are amazing. If this business fails, whatever. We're moving on to the next thing. I mean, I know there's other implications that go into it, but the bottom line is it is not your failure. The business failed. So let's stand up and move forward, take the learnings, extract what we learned, and extract the good things. Because people don't realize when you fail, there are some great things that just happened in that whole experience. Great things. Even the failure itself is a great thing. But if we push ourselves down and we lose confidence, or, that's how people's confidence gets chipped away in those failing moments, because they believe it instead of detaching themselves from it. Like, that happened. All right, let's take a breath. Let's acknowledge it and let's walk forward away from it. Not abandoning it because it did happen, but just walking forward. So that was like a long cornucopia tip for confidence. But I love sharing that because so many people tie their identity into their business and their career. I've been fired. I'm like, I just got fired, guys. What do I do now? Because most people, it's shameful. Oh my God, I got fired. That's terrible. Like, some people sit in their cars because they can't even walk into their house and tell their family that they got fired or laid off. So, we could talk a whole other segment on this topic alone, but just detach yourself. Your identity is you. The things that happen to you when your car breaks down or someone doesn't show up on a date, that's not you. That's the outer world happening around you.
Good stuff, Tiffany. So Boost Squad, do not be afraid to expose yourself. You got this, you deserve this, and detach yourself from failure. Tiffany, thank you so much for being here. How can our listeners get in touch with you? What's the best way to reach you?
My Facebook page. It's Facebook, and my, username on Facebook, I am in my 40s, so my tech gets a little wacky. It's Sustainable Happiness Coach.
Great. Well, guys, please be sure and reach out to Tiffany. Boost Squad, I hope today's episode inspires you to think more about how you can find your passion and live your best life. For more information, head on over to our website and check out our show notes from this episode and catch the Boost bonus. Tiffany, I want to thank you again for sharing your journey with the Boost Squad today. And remember, guys, anything is possible.
Now that you've completed this episode, the next step is to join the Boost Squad for strategic insights, tips, and tricks, as well as exclusive resources designed specifically to accelerate your personal and professional growth. All this and more is waiting for you at theboostpodcast.com.